I'm JD. Welcome to my channel. Please subscribe. Please hit like. And what I have here today is a Hampden pocket watch. There it is there. Hampden Watch Company, Cannon, Ohio, I believe. So nice pocket watch, as you saw before when I showed you this watch. It's got a beautiful movement in it. Let me open this up here and show you. There's the movement. Looks all together and everything, but I took it apart and it was missing the pallet fork. Oh my God. So I'm going to just quickly strip this down and add the pallet fork and see if this actually works. But before I start, this is a John Hancock adjusted to 5 positions, 21 jewel railroad grade pocket watch. I looked it up. It's quite a high-end watch, so if I can get this thing running again, it could be worth a few bucks. This one is mine, so it doesn't belong to someone else, so if I screw up, too bad for me. So I will be cleaning this watch as well, but I think I want to get it and see if it works before I clean it. So it is a lever set pocket watch as well, as part of the standard for being railroad grade. And railroad grade is lever set. It's got to have the minute markers here, and it's got to be within plus or minus 30 seconds a week, plus or minus 30 seconds a week for railroad grade. It's got to be, it was 17 joules at one point, and then it went to 19 joules. I'm going to remove the hands as everything spins freely because there's no pallet fork. I think I'll just line them up right there and then see if I can move them right now, or remove them with my hand movers. So taking great care, as I always do, throw this piece of plastic on top, put my hand movers, I'll jog them over just a bit, and just push up, and that should remove both hands. So I want to remove the hands, get them out of the way. They're in actually pretty good shape. And I may get a watch container down as well. The small seconds hand I always remove using 2 screwdrivers. So to do that, you take the 2 screwdrivers, you wedge them in here, and then you twist that. In the opposite direction, and the hands come out. That's the safest way to remove the seconds hand. And this is a sunken seconds dial, which is really nice. It's high-end. It's very high-end watch. So let me get a watch container here. Got way too much on the go, by the way. And this watch here, which is the clock, seems to be running pretty good now. So I like the way it's running. I don't think I can get any more amplitude out of that. I think the amplitude's around 200, but this is a vintage watch, so I think I'll charge the individual just for shipping both ways. So he's part of the Ottawa Valley Watch and Clock Collectors Society. I'm not using gloves on this right now. I'll clean it up later. And he's a nice guy, and I think I'll just charge him shipping both ways. And maybe for the mainspring I bought, so I'm not negative too much. So, and I did a lot of work on this watch, so if he's generous, maybe he'll give me something, but I'm not expecting anything, and that's no problem at all. So, very nice gentleman. First name Simon, last name not telling you. It's an interesting last name. And he lives in the Maritimes in Canada, but he's from the UK. So his name in the UK would be Simon. See how he did that? Now, sometimes you have to push this out to get the watch out, but for sure you have to take the top off. For sure, for shizzle. Like that. I just move this stuff out of the way. I just want to quickly see if this part I received from Dave's Watch Parts. Dave saw it and said, this has got to be the right part. There's no doubt in his mind. So I'm hoping that he's 100% right, and I don't have an issue where I've now got the part and it doesn't fit. So let me get my watch pad out, which is a Bergeon. It's French for Bergeon. It's a Bergeon watch pad. It's gel filled, and when you put the watch down on it, it compresses a little bit like that, but it doesn't break. and it's really nice. So I do that usually when I want to take the balance out. I remove the balance because I want the balance to be safe. So let me just get rid of my camera so you can get sort of more shots here. So the only good thing about a full plate watch is that when you remove the balance, you just lift it straight up and don't have to concern yourself with it having to, go underneath the intermediate wheel, I think is where normally it would go under. So here I'm just going to put a little bit of pressure here and see if I can unscrew this successfully. There we go. I'll put that in the center, and I should be able to just jog the balance out here. And there's the balance cock. Grab that and lift it straight up. And not sure if these are aligned right now. So when I look at it, this has got to go this way more. So I'm going to open this up a bit by turning it. And I'm going to line it up and see what I got. It's pretty good right there. And just lay that down like that. And that takes some stress off of the hairspring here. So I'll move this out of the way. And I do want to put the watch hands in here. And I should do a watch check, So from a watch check perspective, this is what I'm wearing today. It's upside down, but it says J.D. Richard, born to fish. It's a JM, that's my wife's initials, 2,000 meters fish timer. So that's my name. So this is a San Martin bronze watch that I'll do a review on a little later on. So that was a watch check. Now the next trick in my game of tricks is to remove the face so in no way it can be damaged. And again, I still don't know whether, I don't need to screw these out all the way because you can lose the screws. So I still don't know whether the part I got will work perfectly. So you loosen the dial screws here, and these retain the dial posts. I did a video a long time ago about how to, okay, I don't like the way that's turning. I'm going to get another screwdriver here. I did a video a while back on how to gotta make sure your screwdriver is in there nicely. How to solder on a dial post, because I have a dial post soldering machine I bought it from Vietnam, of all places. And I checked the electronics, and I am an electrical engineer, and I was first concerned about whether I was going to get shocked from this thing, right? So I get a bigger screwdriver again and just wedge the screwdriver in and then twist it a bit, and this should lift up the dial. I don't know how often this thing has been cleaned, but there's the dial. It's actually in pretty good condition. So I'll just put this aside here and strip out some things that'll definitely fall out. I need a new dial washer there. That washer is pretty much flattened. I don't need to pull up the cannon pinion right now and everything, all this stuff here, because I really want to see whether this is going to work or not. And I got to turn off my Ring wireless because my wife's outside and the damn thing just keeps going bang. There, I just disarmed my camera security system. It's actually a really good security system, which makes me feel a bit better when I'm out of town. So there. So now I've got a screwdriver mess here. Now I just want to take out the dial screws here that were, they're not very deep in this dial, so I also put those in the middle usually. So pull those out, put them in the middle. And then I'm going to get my, I take this one out here. And when you feel it tick, that means you've gone far enough. Now if I look at these screws, this screw is sticking out pretty far, so that obviously was not the right screw. And these screws seem to be fine. These screws seem to be fine. But I want to get into the guts of this watch. So let me get my movement holder here. So this is the best movement holder ever made for doing servicing on watches. So the Myers number 58 movement holder will hold all watches regardless of size, shape, or form. Your third hand. So if you're missing a hand, this is your third one. So if you're missing a hand, this will be your second hand. Anyway, it's got all kinds of adapters, as you can see. And right now I've got it installed with the pocket watch adapters. And there's a spring here that pushes up that holds this in place, and this is what that looks like. And you slide it in like that and just tuck it in. And then once you've got it tucked in, I can take the watch and safely put it in the Myers number 58 movement holder. I always keep an eye on where the lever for the lever set mechanism is, because I do not want that to be disturbed. So that's that. And just, you see, am I missing another gear here? I better not be missing another gear. That'll be upsetting. It's like this thing was stripped. Anyway, that doesn't matter. I'm going to be putting the part in anyway, right? So I put it in like this. This watch cost me 60 bucks, I think, or 50 bucks, which is a pretty good price, but the part itself cost me another 50 bucks. So we'll see at the end of the day whether all this was worthwhile. Because if it wasn't worthwhile and this watch was stripped down, then I'm going to be upset that I wasted the money. Then it becomes a parts movement. So here's one of the screws. It's a little snubby one. And then the other two here. There's one here and one here. If I'm smart, I could remember where they go. So I didn't necessarily think I was that smart, but anyway. There and there. I don't have to worry about taking the power off the watch because there ain't no power on this watch right now. It would have been dissipated through the train, the gear train. So I'm just stripping it down as quick as I can. Make haste, young man, make haste. So a big thank you out there to all you watch guys. Thanks to Mike in Australia. Thanks to Sonny and wherever Sonny lives. And they're people that watch my channel and I communicate with. So they're really good guys. Gave me great tips and helped me get that other watch going. So I'm looking at this now and I'm looking at all the marks on the edge of this barrel. So it looks like somebody actually pounded the edge of this barrel with a screwdriver to get the barrel in, the lid, the cap in. That is sad. That is very sad. So this thing is a beat up beast. So there's the watch there. And the question is, when I put the pallet fork in, am I going to get some action here? Will this thing actually work? I can't see for the life of me whether there's any banking pins on this thing. Oh, wait now. Nope, they're not on the other side. So it looks like it's missing banking pins. It could have been a waste of 50 bucks. Let me look again here. Yeah, I can't see the banking pins on here. So there are no banking pins. Oh no, there are. I can see them now. There they are right there. And they're in different directions. So before I put this thing together, I think I'm going to twist the banking pins so at least I've got some consistency in where they're pointing. But I still don't know whether what I do will help. Trying to find the right screwdriver for the banking pins. There. It's not too bad. I'll be farting with it again anyway. So now to put this, look at the barrel. Have a look at that barrel. Looks like someone jabbed the shit out of the barrel all the way around the edges of it. That is so sad. This thing has been beaten up. I'm not sure what watchmaker tried to put the lid on the barrel better, but did they ever fuck it up? So, pardon my swearing, but too bad. So now what I want to do is, again, I bought the Hampden size 18S Hampden SR. So I bought this watch locally from this lady who said, oh, I don't know if it's working and whatever. I saw it and I thought, okay, it's a 21 jewel pocket watch, which is really nice. She said it wasn't running. Well, she didn't say it was missing parts, and she didn't say it was beat up. So other than being a parts watch, can I get this thing running again? So there is the pallet fork that I got from my friend Dave Coatsworth from Dave's Watch Parts. I do recommend Dave, by the way. He's smart, he knows watches, and he will get you the right part. So this thing has got to go down, and I believe it goes down like this, because this is the only way it could go in with the pallet fork. Yeah, it has to go in like this, which means like that. Again, I don't even know if the pivots on this thing will fit in the jewel holes. This is another problem I might have. That he told me what the pivot sizes were, and I thought, okay, I'm not sure whether this will actually work. I may do this under a microscope first, have a look at it under the microscope to see if I've got at least the pivots fitting in the jewel holes. Because the pivots on this thing look pretty friggin' big. Yeah, those are rocking outside the jewel hole. So these pivots are not even fitting. Which means I will have to change the jewel setting on here to fit the pivot right. So let me check the other side and see if I've got the same problem the other way. I suspect I do. So that's 2 jewels. So this pallet fork, as nice as it wants to be, is going to be a problem. Yeah, the jewel holes look like they're probably about 2 sizes smaller than the pallet fork pivots. So the 2 things I can do is trim the pivot size down, which I don't want to do, or I can see if I can find a bigger setting for this. But I think that's it for the video right now, because there's nothing else I can do. And I'm just amazed at how beat up the mainspring barrel is. That someone actually, to close the lid, took a screwdriver or something and pounded the edges of the lid down. Have a look at that again. Look at that. What a mess. So this is going to be my what a mess project. So I'm not going to continue with this video because I'll just frustrate myself. Let me just put this aside. I know I've got a pallet fork now, but I got 2 jewel holes that won't fit. And because of that, I don't know whether this watch can ever be recovered. It may end up being a parts watch. It's a pretty expensive parts watch, but whatever. Shit happens, right? So it's a nice watch, just that jewel setting would have to be flipped over for a larger one. And it's got a cap jewel on it as well. Yeah, those pivot holes are way too big to fit in there. So anyway, that's it. So buyer beware. I think this is the last pocket watch I buy from some lady who's got a shop, unless it's friggin' working. So I thought this is going to be an easy one because it'll be working and blah blah blah, but for sure I can get this thing working, but it's going to be a lot of work. So right now I've got other watches to work on, so I'm not too concerned, and they're watches that I'm doing for people. So this watch can just wait. It can just sit there and wait. So thanks for watching my channel. I'll catch you again next time. And I suspect this is what it's going to look like throughout the winter, but we shall see.